Has anyone run EBC red stuff? Because this is my wheels after that road trip. Like, that's bad. $30 miles of range left on 93 octane, which means after a long wait, we can finally put the car on E85. So that will probably come next video. Also, my Mickey Thompsons are finally here, but they're in Connecticut at FCP Euro. So I gotta drive down there to get them at some point, but then we'll have the full drag set up. We'll be ready for E85, and we'll hopefully be on the hunt for a 10 on, you know, like stock everything else minus the catback. Definitely let me know about EBC red stuff if you run it before. I've said it before, I've been looking for a ceramic brake pad for this car because I really don't track it. I don't plan on tracking it other than going to the drag strip, which is just one big stop. And there's no back roads around me for me to rip, so it's not like I have to worry about brake fade on those either. So thinking about ceramic pads because cleaning these wheels is a royal pain. But that is not the point of today's video. The point of today's video is to recap the 750-mile road trip I did this weekend. My cousin got married in Delaware. I live in Boston area. And so it was 350 miles down, 350 miles back, and a little bit of driving while we were down there. I will start out with this, and it's probably the title of the video. The S6 is the best road trip car I've ever owned, period. Now, I haven't owned that many cars. I've had a 2003 Passat, a 2008 GTI, a 2013 S4, and a 2016 SQ5. This is a 2016 Audi S6 if you're new to the channel. By the way, speaking of new to the channel, if you're watching these videos and you haven't subscribed, the subscriber numbers have been a little lackluster recently, so, you know, pop down, hit that subscribe button. I never say that, but like, you know, it helps YouTube think that I'm still relevant, even though I know I'm just a washed up YouTuber. But yeah, the S6 thoroughly impressed me on this road trip, and I know I've expressed before how good this car is and how much I love it, but I mean, wow. I guess the first thing to talk about is the negatives, and there really aren't any. I guess you could say gas mileage, although to be fair, the mileage that I get in this is pretty similar to what I got in the SQ5. A bunch of you actually messaged me asking about that. So, in my S4 on longer drives in the morning, I would see 28, 29 miles to the gallon. Once I did the high pressure fuel pump in that car, that went down to like 24, 25. The SQ5 on road trips regularly got like 20 to 22. Once I did the high pressure fuel pump, it went down to like 19, 20. This car, prior to tuning it, I would see like 23, 24 miles a gallon on the highway, and that's moving at a decent clip. I think I do drive faster now than I did with my S4, so that probably has something to do with it. But that's moving at a decent clip. I was seeing 23 to 24, and then when I flashed the integrated engineering tune, that got rid of cylinder on demand, which if you didn't know is cylinder deactivation. This car will go down to 4-cylinder mode on the highway. It sounds really weird when you don't have a tune for it, and you hear your car just swap over to being a 4-cylinder. It almost sounds like misfire. Without the cylinder on demand, the car got right around 22 or 23 miles a gallon, moving at around, I think I probably averaged like 55. There was a good section where we were in traffic in New York, and there was also a good section of, you know, 85, 90 on the highway. So, not that I would ever go that fast. I drive the speed limit, but you know, when other people drive my car, they, never mind. The comfort level of this car, I don't know if anyone else has owned an S4 or an SQ5 and then gone to an S6, but this is just like a straight up different tier of car. And I don't think that comes across enough on the internet. You think, oh, I'll just upgrade from an S4 to an S6. But like, that distinction between 4 and 6 really adds, this bridge is really noisy. That distinction between 4 and 6 really adds a lot of like luxury, for lack of a better term. The ride is softer, it's better. Some of that has to do with the air ride. Some of that has to do with the fact that these seats are cushier than an S4 seat. It's a fantastic place to be. I have zero complaints. The seats in my S4 and SQ5 were comfortable, so I have no issue with that. But I mean, you could just sit back here, one hand on the wheel, do like 80 down the highway, no problem. Another big benefit of this is a feature that I guess you can get on the S4s and SQ5. Mine did not have it, and that is the adaptive cruise control, including, I guess it has like start-stop assist or whatever you want to call it. You pull the resume switch and it just goes back to, like the car will come to a complete stop, and then you pull the resume switch and the car starts driving again as long as the car in front of you is moving. I guess maybe that's my one complaint. My son's mother was riding with me, and when the car comes to a complete stop, it's almost like it doesn't want to disengage the clutch, and then it gives you a nice lurch forward, which didn't really bother me, but it made her feel kind of car sick. I'm a firm believer that if this car was a ZF car and not a DSG car, that would not happen. I think the ZF is the superior transmission, and I know I get crucified on the internet for saying that, but I think the ZF is the superior transmission for sure. So I guess that was my only gripe. But man, it's so nice when you're sitting in like 20-mile-an-hour traffic, you just sit back and let the car do a little bit of driving, and it's pretty good. And it takes that like extra stress level away from like speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. You can kind of mentally relax and just focus on steering and talking. The little man had a great ride back there. My car has the optional sunshades on the back and the power sunshade in the rear. So if the sun was coming in on him, we just pop that up. The other thing that I will say is the difference between the V8 and the V6 supercharged is kind of crazy. The way this car delivers passing power compared to the way the S4 and the SQ5 deliver passing power is different. And obviously they have different modes of induction, but man, like I don't know how to describe the feeling. And again, if you've had an S4 or own an S4 and have driven an S6 or whatever, there's just like a buttery smooth way that the V8 torque kicks in, and then the turbos just kind of supplement that. It almost like rubber bands you forward, if you know what I'm talking about. This is really hard for me to describe, but instead of the supercharged motor, which just hits you with the torque right away, you lean your foot into it and it goes. When you lean your foot into this, because of turbos and because V8, it hits you with that initial V8 torque, and then it just kind of builds up with the boost. It's really nice. This car has plenty of torque for passing, as the S4 and the SQ5 did. If you have long drives in your future, if you have a long drive to work and you're not so worried about gas mileage, because believe it or not, sooner or later, these V8 cars are going away. You might as well get one while you can. I could not recommend the S6 enough. This is just a really, really, really good car. And if you're new here, I actually did have my oil screens removed on the car, so I'm not so worried about driving around on stock turbos and beating on it as I would be with the oil screen still in the car. But obviously that's not a huge factor when you're just on a road trip. Please refuel. Love that. Anyway, kind of a quick one this week. The wedding threw me off video schedule wise, so I apologize if this video feels like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. I roll around at minus 33 in the seat module, and I know I could just air up when I'm driving, but like, who wants to drive around not looking like a gangster? So I just drove over a manhole cover that's sticking out of the ground. I was concerned that I was gonna hit it. With that said, I hope you guys all are having awesome weeks. Apologies for missing a video last week. I was supposed to go left there. I could have gone left there as well. Now I'm gonna go left here over this massive hole in the road. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts if you have an S6 or an S4 and you've been road tripping it in the comments below. Go out there and spread some positivity, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.